Guys and girls, good evening, good afternoon, good morning. Hope you're all well. I appreciate every single one of you tuning in. If you are new here, you've never done this before, this will be on my YouTube channel. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, make sure you say hello where you're tuning in from. For those of you who are watching me live on this call right now and you've never seen me before, my name is Bradley Marchant. I've been in the financial market space now since 2017. I got involved in the online space in 2011. And a good few years ago, I had a life-changing experience with a man for who most people will know. If you don't, his name is Bob Proctor. Completely changed my life in the understanding of how the brain works, how we work as human beings. And being able to be coached by him for 6 years before he passed away is something that I'm truly, truly grateful for in this space. So one thing I want you to understand when you come into this space with trading, with business, with entrepreneurship, with all of that other good stuff, the biggest thing that I learned in this space is it's you versus you, right? And I spoke about this on previous calls. I spoke about it on my YouTube. I've done calls on this over and over and over again. In this industry, in the online space, in the world that we live in, who would agree it'd be easy to do everything if there was no rules? So if you just spawned in and you could do whatever the fuck you wanted, whenever you wanted, right? It'd be easy to get anything. You wanted the latest car, boom, you could go take it. You wanted the latest ring, the latest jewelry, the latest this, the latest that, you could just go get it. You could go do it. It'd be very easy, but you'd be bored after 25 minutes because you do whatever you want. That is where this little universe that we live in put in rules. Because if not, there'd be absolute carnage. So for me, what I had to understand early doors is that this that's happening right now, there's 322 of you watching this live. You are here because of my decisions. Yes, you made a choice to get on here, but I don't know some of you. I don't know most of you. But this is happening because of knock-on effect of some things that happened to me in 2017 that caused a string of events. And now I'm in a position where I'm making obscene amounts of money because of decisions that I made years ago. So some of you right now, and I talk about this a lot on these calls, you have to become that version of you now. A lot of people, when they jump on these calls, are like, Bradley, why don't you talk about trading? Why don't you talk about like this, and this? If you want to understand trading, go read Trading in the Zone. It tells you in the first 9 pages why you're a loser. Some of you are going to take that sentence personally. I don't mean that you're a loser as in no one likes you, that you're a bum, that you're this, that you're that. You're just a loser in general day-to-day trading. It's because you haven't mastered your emotions. You haven't mastered the inner work of you. Most people, when it comes to business, when it comes to trading, when it comes to entrepreneurship, when it becomes to like them looking to get to that next level, it's easy to project that there's external forces that stops them from getting the results that they want. Right? So when you start to look at this game, who would agree that the system is simple? A trade is sent to Telegram with parameters that, if you follow, have an 85% win rate. 85. If you, being the operative word, deviate from that, you will lose. So we give you the stop loss, the entry point, the take profit. So if it goes the wrong way, you've lost. If it goes the right way, you've won. Most of you haven't managed the emotional stability within inside of you yet to be okay losing. You would rather adjust the stop loss. You would rather make it worse for yourself. You would rather that drawdown. And again, for those of you on the call who are open to be honest, who's let that trade go in such deep drawdown, they're fearful of blowing the account. The moment it gets into profit, close. Who's done that, honestly, on this call? Yeah, a lot of you. Why is that? Why will you let it run 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 1,000, 2,000, 5,000 into drawdown, but it gets 17 pence into profit, close? That is the stuff you should be working on. That is the stuff that will help you go from a 3-figure account to 4 figures, 4 figures to 5 figures, 5 figures to 6 figures, 6 figures to 7 figures. So the goal with this isn't pressing buy or sell. It's not following the trades. It's you versus you. So when you understand that the trade is going to go into negative, which is what drawdown is, the trade will go down, you'll lose money. Some of you panic over a bag of skips, £1.25, whatever it is. But you want to make big money. So if you understand the energy exchange that is required for you to get that big money, you cannot act like this person down here. And I always call people broke. And it's not always financial. Who here on this call would define themselves as broke? Right? This is interesting. Whatever you agree with, you already are. For me, 15 years ago, I couldn't afford to put fucking fuel in my car. But I already had the mindset, the belief, the vision that I was affluent, I was abundant. Everything was amazing around me. Some of my friends used to think I was so delusional. They're like, man, we've seen how this guy moves. So when you start to understand, it's not about your bank account. It's about you as a person. So like when I always say people are broke, it's nothing to do with financial. It's a mindset. Most of you are broken mindsets. You've been taught and conditioned the wrong things since you were young, and you're led to believe that over time. So when I understood, I bought Think and Grow Rich. It was a doorstop for a lot of years. I didn't understand it. Everyone was talking about write the vision, make it plain so he who sees can run. For those of you into biblical scripture, you'll understand this. Write the vision, make it plain so he who sees can run. I was like, what? I'm not at no church. What is going on? Why is someone giving me biblical scripture when I'm here to try and learn about how to make money? I was like, what is fucking going on? Then I understood, and I'll tell you a story. This was the day that changed my whole entire world. I was at an event and there was a dinner afterwards with Bob Proctor. And you had to be, the exact terminology I was described as, there was a group of guys. I had to be a big dicker, was the terminology that I got told that I had to be. 250K a month was the target. I was like, man, I'm not earning nowhere near that. But my coach and my mentor at the time said, listen, I want you to come. We're meeting here. And you might see him, but you've got to dress smart. Like, don't worry, I've got that on point. Got there were 28 people sat in a room. And I don't know if you guys understand, like, have ever envisioned what the doors of heaven looks like, but the doors opened. Bob Proctor came walking through, and I was like, I'm not fucking leaving anytime soon. Unless they drag me out, I am not going anywhere. And he sat down, started talking. He was introducing himself, yada, yada, yada. Everyone knew who he was. And they got talking about the deep part of like, if he came to our houses, would he see where we're going to be in 6 to 12 to 18 months to 2 years to 5 years' time? I said, no, absolutely not. Out loud. Bear in mind, everyone at that table is making 200 odd grand a month. There's little old me barely making minimum wage. And he just looked at me and he went, why? I went, well, you'd see my current environment, my current lifestyle, my current day-to-day stuff. He's like, well, what if you change that? I went, go on. Enlighten me. He went, I dare you to go home from this and come and see me again in 90 days' time at the next event, which was in Houston, and let me know how you've got on. I was like, what should I do? He's like, go away and print 26 images of your dreams, your lifestyle, what it is you want to attain, print them off, and I want you to handwrite, I'm so happy and grateful now that I am. Bear in mind, I'd heard all this shit before. I'd read about this. I'd heard it. I used to listen to Jim Rohn, Earl Nightingale. Like I'd studied this stuff. But I never, ever heard it out of the horse's mouth. This guy studied Think and Grow Rich for 58 years before he passed away. Why is that? Studied it like, studied it. Why? So I went away, I did that, got to the next event. By the time that had happened, my business had grown by 906%. Nothing changed. My level of call volume didn't change. Me turning up didn't change. My output every single day didn't change. I was still working the same amount that I was. So why did my business grow? So when you understand scripture, scribing, the Egyptians had it on point. I'm so happy and grateful now that I am. You speak everything in present tense. That's why I asked you, who believes they're broke? I saw certain names in the chat that are active in support, telling me that they're struggling, that they're this, they're that. I can already tell your account balance to within a fucking penny based on the type of stuff that you say to support. So you need to understand that, like they always say, life and death is in the power of the tongue. So how you speak about yourself, how you think about yourself is so important. Most people get this backwards. They want the big income, but they don't work on the inner stuff. So imagine if you just did the day to day and you started to understand, right, okay, I'm going to journal a little bit more today. I'm going to understand how I feel. I'm going to talk about and be vulnerable to yourself. Most of you lie to yourselves every single day about how you feel, your thoughts, your emotions, your relationships, your friendships, you're this, you're that, you're the other, and you bullshit your way through your own life. And then you sit and you look at someone like myself who's done this for 15 years. I've eat, breathe, sleep, shit it every single day. And you're like, oh, it's easy for you because you've got a Ferrari. No, no. I bought a Lamborghini flip switch for my old fucking Vauxhall Corsa when I had no money. Imagine the brain that you have to have for that. I spent £192 on the Lamborghini flip switch off their website. So before you turn the engine on the Lamborghini, you have to flip the switch, press the button. I used to put it next to where my fucking key went in. So then when I turned the little Vauxhall Corsa on, I used to hear the sound of a Lamborghini. I did the same with my 3 Series. The 3 Series had a push start button. It fitted perfectly over that. So then when the flip switch went on, I'm now driving a 3 Series. Sick. We're getting some progress. I now drive an F8 Spider. Ferrari. It's fucking beautiful. It's not a Lamborghini, but I didn't want to get a Barry Basic Lamborghini. I want the SVJ Roadster, which is 1.2 mil. So I have to wait a little bit for that one. So if you start to understand how all of this game works, the person that I am today on my social media, the person that I am, my character will never waver. I will never change because of money. Some of you would change in a heartbeat because of X. The things you can't buy is loyalty, trust. You cannot buy that. So if you remain true to yourself day in, day out, and you become always your most true, authentic self. I was the person who was trying to buy weird shit online to flex for people that I didn't care about. So the inner work in me, the universe was like, you're not ready for what you're asking for. You're wanting 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 grand a month, yet you're acting broke. You think that that Louis Vuitton top makes you some type of way. Doesn't. It's like putting a piece of armor on. So when you understand in this that everything starts with you, it starts with your brain. That's why I said to you, you are your own universe. I don't care whether you believe in God, whatever religion you are the creator. You're God's highest form of creation when you look at it from that aspect. So imagine if you started operating like that, not some fucking sideline player. Right? And whoever Zoom user, you're probably a bum. I'm going to be honest. This is the type of stuff that boggles my brain. Like, you can go on my fucking Instagram. Go have a look. Can't even be asked putting your name. Like, these are the type of people, by the way. I'm going to call this out. If you have someone like that around your social circle, get them out. Quick. Immediately. Vamos. Like, if I was my old version of myself, I'd probably boot you off the call. But guess what? I want you to see us win. I want you to go on my Instagram. I want you to check it out. I want you to see the private jets. I want you to see the yachts. I want you to see the Ferraris. Because 15 years ago, I had fuck all. Nothing. So understand, it all starts inside. So that person there has a lot of healing to do, a lot of trauma to go through, a lot of journaling to unpack. But guess what? When they do that, and the reason that I don't boot people anymore is I want them to feel that. Does that make sense? I don't have to prove anything to anyone. I did that there to tangent off onto something. So when you understand in this game, I don't need to flex. I've done all my internal work. But trust me, I'm now at a level where it's very easy for people to target it and be like, man, this guy, I didn't come into this for Ferraris to begin with. I didn't come into this to have the private jets and all that type of stuff. I didn't. I came in just to have enough food on the table to fucking enjoy myself. To be able to buy a new top every now and again. I don't know where my bag is, but I could have tangent off onto something else. And I covered something on last week's mindset call, which is the 6 worst traits you can have as a human being. A lot of them were just highlighted there. So when you look at this, if you want to become a top A player, you want to become the guy, you have to do the internal work. Someone's just asked a great question there. What made you go after the material things? And I want you to really think of this. Who's walked past Louis Vuitton, Gucci, Prada, Rolex, whatever your dream thing is, and you've dissed the thing in the window? Ah, you won't ever catch me dead wearing that shirt. Oh, them shoes would look horrible. Oh, God, it's because you can't afford it. You can't afford to go drop 3 grand on a shirt. So the easiest thing for the internal version of you is to be like, that's shit. So for me, I understood. I've done 15 years of eating shit, putting in the work. Why would I not treat myself? My family's taken care of. They don't have to worry about anything. My dad needs a new van, done. My mum needs a new kitchen doing, done. She wants a new fireplace fitting, done. My dad needs money because of XYZ, sent. I don't have to think. When I fly business class next week to LA, done. People talk about money like it's a disease. It is if you don't have it. The vast majority of divorces, the vast majority of arguments, the vast majority of bickering is caused by lack of money. Some of you on here are getting pissed off with your girl because she's not making you dinner. Guess what? When you've got enough money, you have a chef, a cleaner, someone who does your washing, your ironing, all of that other stuff. Guess what? Me and Katie don't talk about anything to do with the housework, the chores. Someone is paid very, very well for what they enjoy doing, which is the cooking, the cleaning, the ironing, the this, the that. They come in, they enjoy that. Guess what? Me and Katie smash life every single day and we enjoy it. But that all started internally. Does that make sense? So when you come into this space, a lot of you want the materialistic stuff. When you get a little bit of money, it's like now Christmas is coming up. Most of you will be starting to think about, oh my God, I need to get my partner this. And you go and spend thousands of pounds on Christmas when you understand that that's just the matrix keeping you a consumer. So it's Christmas, then it's New Year sales, then it's Valentine's Day, then it's this, then it's that, then it's the other. And before you know it, you just splashed all your cash away. Boggles my brain. So I'm not saying to be a downer and all that type of stuff, but when you understand in this game that you're a consumer, you're all on this call tonight because you want to get better, you want to make more money, you want to learn. It's not about trading. Someone just put that it's freedom. It is. I can do what I want. I don't have to do anything tomorrow or the day after. My life's set. As long as I do everything correctly, by the way. That is just so you know. If I go on a mad one tomorrow and I buy the Bentley, I get the yacht, yada, 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 then we're fucked. Right? Because I might start spending. But this is a great thing. Having people around you, and this is why I go back to whoever it was who was a dick earlier on. They're the type of people that will laugh when you're trying to get better, when you're trying to grow, when you're trying to go to the next level, right? When you're trying to become your best version of you. So when you start to see that shift, who here knows what karmic cycles are? Again, we're going to finish on this because I've nearly done half an hour. Who here understand what karmic cycles are? If you don't, be honest. It's fine. So you're asking for things. Okay, so a lot of people don't. Fantastic. So I need you to understand, right? You want to go from here to here. But to get from here to here, there's obviously going to be challenges, right? It requires you to change. Obviously, the word challenge is change, right? For you to get from here to here, it requires a different version of you at the end point. So what the universe will do, and you will have seen this over and over and over and over and over again, you will start to, you being on this call is a start potentially of your karmic cycle breaking. You will start to move towards the person that you want to become, the goal you want to attain. You'll start moving, you'll get results, you'll get traction, you'll be asking for it, you'll be feeling it every day. You'll be like, wow, this is amazing. And then something or someone will come into your life and test whether you're ready for that. I want you to listen to that bit again. Something or someone will come into your life to see if you truly meant what it is you were saying. So if your goal is to have people around you who will love you, who want to see you win, who are smashing life, there's going to be one person who rings you on a Friday afternoon, says, listen, do you want to come to a pub? Do you want to go do this? You know you shouldn't be hanging out with that person, but you do it anyway. The universe just goes, they haven't learned, start again. And you're like, Lord, God, Jesus, whatever it is, why can I not get what I'm asking for? It's because when it shows up, you fail. So trading, stick to the plan. The trades are sent. You go from £500 to £600 to £800 to £1,000 to £2,000 to £5,000. You think you're a G. The universe is like, wow, they've changed. They'd usually be gambling by now. The next trade you do, you over leverage, you gamble, you overtrade, account gone. Universe goes, they're not ready yet. Because there has to be an amount of money that affects you for you to change the person that you are. Like some people just asked on the prior call, how much is it to get started? 300 quid. But if you spend that on a dinner, you're never going to break that cycle. You have to have an amount of money on the line that hurts you. For me, it was £42,653.72. I took a £500 account to that. I just split up with my ex. I had to move back home. I was in my mum's spare bedroom. I was trading Dow Jones. I don't know why. Never traded that pair. The market was going up and up and up and up and up and up and up. And I'm like, this has got to fucking come down. Sell. It kept going. Sell, 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 sell. A couple more sells. All right, another 40 or 50 sells. 39,000 in negative. So I had 3K left. It then went to 2K. I do love a sell, Paul Chamley. You are right. And so do you. High five to that one, my friend. Right. I was in the worst headspace I've ever been in. I closed off just over 40,000 GBP in negative. So I lost 40 grand. I did this. Close, 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 close. Because I wanted a couple of grand to still trade with. This next bit here, I want you to avert your eyes and your ears and take this out of your head. I went for a shit. My mum's asked me beforehand, do you want a crisp sandwich? I went, no, mum, I've just lost 40 grand. She's like, no, you won't. It's come back. It'll come back. I'm like, mum, trust me, it won't. I've just lost it. Went to the toilet. I came back 6 minutes max. Sat there contemplating life, thinking, Jesus Christ, could my life get any worse? If I'd have waited, Dow Jones dropped 1,000 points. £1,000. I'd have made 300 grand. 300,000. Wow. I didn't go to the toilet that long. I was debating where I could drown myself. Right? But like, if you understand this, it's just time. Emotion kicked it. I'd have rather just gone and, lost the whole stuff. I was even worse off after that. Went downstairs, ended up having a crisp sandwich. But you have to understand in this game, you have to go through the feelings, the fears, the emotions, yada, 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 right? So as you do this day by day, week by week, month by month, you're going to get to a point with this where you start to feel a certain type of way. And for me, this is where I was like, right, I understand. I understand that it's me getting in my own way. I'm the reason I'm not making money. I'm the reason I can't have the life that I want. So if I understand that I've got to change that version of me that works for the best version for me, am I willing to burn the bridges, kill off that old version of me? Am I willing to get rid of friends? Am I willing to cut off certain family members? Am I willing to do things that the old version of Bradley wasn't willing to do to get to the life that I want? Of course. Go into the Ferrari dealership, get in the car. That was one of the biggest moments of my life because I was able to FaceTime my mum in the dealership, like, Mum, I fucking done it. She's crying on the call. Like, the guy who fucking selling me the car is like, man, this is emotional. I've got my video team there. I'm able to now live in one of my dream homes here in Marbella. I bought a podcast studio, bought a cafe just below it. The old version of me would be very proud. But he'd be looking and going, man, you've done a lot of work, right? You've gone through a lot of shit. You've eaten it, spat it back out and eaten it again. So this is a thing where you start to have to understand, like, the journey that you've got to go on. It's you versus you every single day. No one's going to come and save you. The karmic cycles that you're going to have to break is going to have to be something that you have to do. And this is why, for those of you who are into this type of stuff, go look at eagles. There's a reason why all my branding used to be eagle-based, eagle-related. It wasn't because they're a pretty animal. It's because for them to live, when they get to a certain point, they have to smash their own beaks to bits because it's got to a certain point that they can't pluck the feathers that have made them too heavy to be able to fly. So they have to fly high altitude, smash their face against rocks to break their beak so the beak regrows. So they have to eat the old feathers to pluck themselves. Otherwise, they die. So if you understand, are you willing to, I'm not saying go and smash your own nose against the wall and this, that, and the other, but are you willing to break all the versions of you down that was there before to become the best version of you? Right? Someone's put foot coming back as an eagle. Listen, you'll be coming back many a time. And this is the thing. Go look into this type of stuff. Go look at your angel numbers, if you will. Go look at, all this type of stuff that is your magic number and all that type of stuff. I don't want to go too deep onto this. But if you go through and you look at your numerology, you look at your life path, there's a reason why you're here again. For those of you who have deja vu every now and again, you're on the right path. Can't go into deep detail as to why that is, but go start studying this stuff. Once you understand that you're here for a reason and the universe is just testing you again and again and again. Right? So guys and girls, I hope you got some value from this. I'm going to go scoot my early night up at 6 in the gym. But again, I appreciate every single one of you tuning in. This will go live on YouTube again this evening, or maybe tomorrow, actually, because I posted my Amalfi Coast vlog today. But guys, I appreciate every single one of you tuning in. Make sure you do head over to the YouTube, like, subscribe, all that other good stuff. I appreciate you all as per usual. If you are new into the community, welcome in. And we do these type of calls every single Monday. And we will see you on the inside. Good night.